Okay, hope everyone is having a great day. If you're watching this later, hope you're having a great day whenever you're watching this. Today we're going to be talking about
Hello?
Acrobat.
Yes. Yeah, hi. What?
Acrobat is not just the simple reader, it's the Pro version. Acrobat Pro is a little bit different than Acrobat Reader in the fact that it lets you do a lot of other things that we'll be covering today. First and foremost, I want to go over a couple of things real quick. And if you have a question during any of this, you should see over on the right-hand side of your screen a questions thing where it says ask a new question. Down at the bottom, there's a green button that says ask a new question. You can just click that to ask a question, and the question will show up. I'll try and see it, and I'll try and answer it. Everyone won't see the question, they'll only see your question. So if you have a question at any time, you can click there. Down on the bottom is also a thumbs up or thumbs down. So if you understand things, just click that thumbs up and I will understand that everyone's getting it. If you have a question about what I'm talking about and you don't understand, you can hit the thumbs down and that tells me that you didn't get it, and I'll try and repeat it or say it a different way. So now that we got that little housekeeping out of order, and if you're watching this afterwards on YouTube, the questions will automatically be listed, and when you click on them, it will jump to the portion where I have marked that that's the answer. So hopefully that helps you. All right, so we're going to continue in here. Everyone should be seeing this screen. What we're going to cover today, we're going to cover what is the difference between Acrobat Pro and Reader. We're going to talk a little bit about the interface, the toolbars and the task panes, because there's a little bit different things than you normally would see in just Acrobat Reader or in Preview if you're using a Mac. We're going to talk about editing, and we're actually going to edit some PDFs. We're going to talk about manipulating pages, and then we're going to finally finish up about creating a PDF. There's other things that we're not going to cover today that I'll cover here, or I'll go over briefly what is coming up in future sessions. Starting off, Acrobat Pro versus Acrobat Reader. And sometimes I'll just say Acrobat, sometimes I'll say Acrobat Professional. The very new version that just came out is called Acrobat DC for document connection, I think. Professional is a lot more than just a reader, whereas Acrobat Reader, or just Reader sometimes, is a wonderful way for you to read a PDF, which PDF stands for Portable Document Format. You know, that's the whole idea behind it, is that you want to be able to read PDFs that people send you. So the PDF format is wonderful. It lets you send all kinds of documents, and they're read-only. You can do all kinds of things with them. But what we're going to be talking about today is Acrobat Professional, that lets you edit, manipulate, and mark up a PDF document, as well as create PDFs and a thing called portfolios, which is a file system of other PDFs and other files, which is a really kind of handy thing that we'll talk about. All right, for future sessions, not today, I'm not going to cover these today, just real quick for future sessions, creating PDFs from Office files, even web pages, or even other Adobe files. The Forms Wizard, which is really kind of cool, so you can create forms for people to send you information back. Fillable, that are really nice, so they don't have to print them out and then handwrite them. They can do it on the computer. Creating bookmarks and links, and those are handy if you have a multiple page PDF. Exporting and batch processing the exports to other formats. So if you're going to be taking PDFs and doing stuff with it, annotating PDFs and attaching files and audio comments. I'll briefly show you the commenting part. I'm not going to go into audio today. And then you can also set encryption, passwords, and other security features like, people can't print it or something like that. You can do all kinds of fancy things with Acrobat. All right. I'm hoping that this screen will be at least visible to you. I'm going to minimize this, hopefully. There we go. Okay. In your applications folder, and if you don't know how to get to your applications folder, it's here under the Go menu from the Finder. So I'm in the Finder, and I go Applications, and it will open up this Applications folder on your Macintosh. If you have a PC, it's a little bit different. You have Program Files. But you should have a program called Adobe Acrobat XI, which stands for 11 Pro. Notice that it's Acrobat Pro. This is the version number that we're currently using. Like I said, there is a new version out called DC, which we are not yet putting out to people. Coming soon. And it's a little bit different format, but again, this is what we have, and this is what we're going to go with today. So to open it up, you open up the folder, which is kind of a little, not so intuitive. This is a folder actually, whereas this would be a program. So we open that up, and then inside here is Adobe Acrobat Pro. Also installed at the same time was this Form Central. When they came out with Acrobat DC, they got rid of Form Central. So this will no longer work. When you try and use it, it'll say, oh, sorry, you can't use it anymore. They've gone away from it, and they've gone to the DC. So if you have that, don't worry about it. It's not going to be usable. This one here is the Adobe Acrobat Pro. It's what we're going to use. So I'm going to double click on it. Wait for that to open. Okay. Oh, there it is. Thinking, where is it? It's not there. You may get this message here that talks about Acrobat Pro not being your default application for reading PDFs. This is a user preference. This means that you probably have either Acrobat Reader or Preview installed. And right here it says Preview is my default file program to open PDFs in. This is where I always, when I'm using a computer, I choose yes, please have that be my default program, so that I open Acrobat just in case there's something I can do with it. It really makes it helpful. So if you do get this message, I would really encourage you to say yes. It is a user preference, so it follows you from, it's only on that computer that you're using. All right, now that we have, what happened? There we go. Now that we have Acrobat open, you see over here on the right-hand side, there's tasks that you can, okay. Oh, that's not good. There we go. Okay. Over here on the right-hand side is tasks that you can use to create a form or combine files and stuff like that. You can also open up programs or files. I have a few on my desktop over here. And the first one I'm going to open up is one that has a lock symbol on it. So the icon shows you as a lock. That means when you open it up or attempt to open it up, it's going to say, hey, what's the password for this? And you have to enter the password. This is an example of encryption. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to do with that. The next one I'm going to talk about is the difference between a file that has been scanned and one that has been created. You can see here this is a board packet from June of 2012, so it's very outdated. I'm not going to be showing you anything, but you see the difference between this page, looks nice and straight, and this page here, starting to look a little curved. And that's the difference between a document that was sent to me scanned versus one that was created digitally. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. The next one I'm going to show you is this document. And it's just a thing about firmware that a manufacturer sent. And I'm going to increase the magnification here so you can see it a little bit easier. One of the neat features that Acrobat lets you do versus Reader is you can edit the document. So if you look right here, there are 3 panes that are not normally visible. They're just little buttons here that click on. When you click on the Tools button, the pane shows up, and it talks about editing text and images, adding text, adding image, and then exporting files. So the content editing. There's other things that we're going to talk about. This document was sent to me, and so when I click Edit Text, it's going to come up and say, this is a secure document. Now, you noticed I did not have to put a password in to get this to open, but it's a password protected, or it's a secure document. So what they've done is they've sent me a really nice digitally created document that looks, nice with images and telling me exactly how to do everything, but they've protected it so that I can't edit it. I can't change anything on here. Now, up here in my interface, I have a hand icon and a selecting text icon. The hand icon lets me move up and down inside the document. The selecting text document is if I wanted to highlight text, and I could then copy that text. So I could highlight that text and using the edit button up here, copy it. So they've protected it, but they've not made it so that I can't copy out of here. Some PDFs that you get from someone else may be protected in the fact that they've eliminated the ability to do the copy. They won't let you take a copy of it. Okay. And I think my next one is this one I wanted to show you. Yep, School Tool User Guide. So this one is an example of a nice digitally created document. So it's nice and everything's straight and everything. So when I click on my Tools button and I want to edit text, it immediately went into a mode, and you saw a little taskbar show up down here on the bottom, and it went through and did a conversion real quick to see what fonts were available on my computer versus the fonts that were installed here. I could actually edit this. So let's say I'm going through and I'm just making slight adjustments. So I clicked on the Edit Text button, and now I clicked right there with my cursor, and I'm going to say 9 point. I gotta be careful. Two instead. And what they did was they put a double a overlay on there. So you gotta be careful with that. What if you notice there's black and then gray underneath it? Let's do another example up here. Okay, so there's my text. I'm editing it, and I don't want it to be an S. I can just hit that S off, and it goes away. You just got to be careful when you're editing text, because you don't want to worry about, or you want to worry about moving text in the locations. It's easy to touch up, and actually this used to be called touch up text in previous versions. Notice that when I have this edit text and images button selected, I see little boxes around everything that I can edit. So down here, like page 2 of 188 and this modified thing, I could click in there and I could actually change that to a new year, or I could say user's guide. Notice that when I did that, it made too much text, so the box went off. So I can actually do this and drag it up, and it makes it so that it fits and doesn't go below the margin there. You just got to be really careful when you're editing text. I can also, because this is not a protected document, I can click the add text. This used to be called the typewriter tool. In the add text button, when I click on it, my cursor changes to kind of like the selection text, but you'll notice at the bottom, and I think I can, no, I can't. I thought I could zoom in for you. The bottom of the cursor there has like a line, and that's talking about where I'm gonna, or that's showing me where I'm gonna put my text. So I just click and I drag, and I'm making a text box. Once I make that, I can put in additional text. Now, when I did that, down here on the bottom of my content editing pane, I have other options. So I can select this text, and if I don't want it to be Minion Pro, which I think is kind of cool, I could make it any other font that I have installed on my computer. So I could put it into my Lucida Sans, and I could make it 18 point. And what's really nice is I can center it, so it centers in between there. I can even make it bold, italics, or underlined. So I could bold it there. And I could change the color. This is the color palette. Lets me change the color. And you know, you have your normal color palette. I like the crayons because it gives me a nice ability to choose that. Close my color, and now I have my font or my text the way I want it, and it's in there. Now, back to the edit text and images. Notice it's edit text and images. This is an actual image. The ability that you have here is not to actually edit the image, in other words, change the image, but what I can do is I can move the image. So see how the image is there and I can move it around. There's a double image because this is actually a text, individual images inside here. That particular one. But it lets me move any of the images that are in this document to wherever I want to. So if I wanted this continue button to be actually after the text of clicking the continue button, I could do that, and I could click in here and I could get rid of that space that's in there. Again, click out. And make it so that it's editable. All right, the other one that's over on this pane is the add image. And here's where when you click on add image, it's going to give you a dialog box for what image you want to add. It's going to automatically go to your documents folder. And if I had another picture in here or some kind of image, I could insert it in here. It's really nice if I'm going to be inserting like my logos and stuff like that I wanted to put in here. So for instance, on this one, I put in Liverpool at the top. I could put in the actual Liverpool logo and have it be available. in here. Okay. I've already covered a little bit there. I'm going to go into one other file, and that is this one here. And talk about the interface at the top. I have my open and my create button, which we'll talk a little bit about. This is my save. This is to send it up to a document cloud, which we're not really using. This one here is the print, so I can print it from within inside here. This is to sign or add text for signature, and this is to email. These here are really for forms that you can do later. We're not going to be doing those. This next one here is your current tool set, where you can edit what tools are available under the tools menu. This one here is, these all here are comments. The sticky note and the highlighting text, they're part of commenting. These next ones are dealing with pages. So there's delete page, there's the rotate page, there's the insert page from another file, and then the edit text and images, which is the same as this. So that button there matches that. So it's nice, you don't have to click here to get it. When you click there, it automatically opens it up and selects that tool for you. And you notice how it automatically highlighted the fields that I have available. I'm going to zoom in here so you can see this a little easier. And this is just a feedback form that I was given from someone. And this is an example of where I can, oops, not add image, sorry, edit the image. If I wanted this image to be actually down here, I can just click and move it. This is actually text. I can make it bigger. And you'll see how it works. Okay. The next part of a line on my toolbar here, this is my pages, so I can go to the next page, back page. I can actually jump. So if I had a document that was many pages, I could just type in there, and that's just open that real quick. We'll open this big one again. So there's 188 pages. If I wanted to jump to page 57, I could just type in 57 and hit return, and I've immediately jumped to page 57. I've already covered these two here, the selection text and the hand tool. This here lets me zoom in or out of my page, so I can make it in increments. I can zoom in here, or I can click here and select it. You can zoom way in, so I'm looking at really big text here, and that's probably too big. Yeah, see how big it is? So you can zoom way in to way out, so you can see multiple pages. You also have some special ones down here at the bottom: actual size, zoom to page level, fit width, and fit visibility. So this one here, oops, actual size, shows me the way it was intended at 100%. The zoom to page level shows me one page at a time. The fit to width makes it so that it goes the width of my screen and shows me however much I can on one screen. And I can scroll up, or I can use the hand tool to go through the document. It sets it here. So it's got all these because it might be different. And then the last one is fit visible. And so it just makes as much as it can on my screen. So it fits the visible width of it. Okay, go back to my other document that I have here, my feedback form. All right, we're going to cover a little bit more on tools. In the content editing, I've already talked about the editing text, adding text, images, and this one here is export file to. This lets me take a file, a PDF, and I can actually send it to Microsoft Word, or I can send it to Excel if it's an Excel document type thing, or I can even send it to PowerPoint. Now, that being said, it is not 100%, especially if the PDF that you're dealing with is a scanned PDF. In other words, you use the Xerox machine to create a scan. That is not going to be a really great PDF to do a conversion. But if you have Acrobat, you can use this right here. So export file to Microsoft Word document. So I'm going to take that, and notice it's going to name it the same. So there's my feedback.pdf. It's going to do feedback, and it's going to make it a Word document. So I'm going to say save. It's going to take this PDF, and it did some little conversions down here on the bottom, you saw. So I'm going to minimize this for a second, and you'll see that I have a new document called feedback docx. So if I double click on that, it's going to open up Word for me and show me the difference that it did in converting the PDF back into a Word file. Now, a lot of times you're the one that has the file that originally created the Word or the PDF, so it's usually easier to do it. Okay, we have a question here. Do the edit text allow users to take a doc that was scanned via email to you and edit it? And I think I'm covering that right here. So hopefully I'm going to show you that. So I'm going to say that I answered that there. Okay, so there you see is my feedback form that came back, and if we compare it to the feedback request, I'm going to view this at 100% so you can see. So there's the request, and there is the Word document that was created. Did it do it 100%? Not 100%, but pretty darn close. It even did so far as to put these little boxes in here. Now, if we did that same thing to this board packet, so I'm going to ask this to do that same thing, but I'm going to do one other thing in my tools section. I'm going to go to my pages, and I'm going to say to extract. So I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to show you this is a page that was scanned from a Xerox machine. So this is page 6. So I'm just going to say extract page 6, and it's going to come out and it's going to give me this extraction. So I have just this page, which is handy. So there's my original document that had 70 pages, and I did that extraction, and now I have just that page. And you saw that I had an opportunity to have more than page 6. I could have as much as I wanted. But I want to do that same thing that I just did there. So I'm going to say Tools, Content Editing, Export File to Microsoft Word. I'm going to answer that question there. And notice that here it took the original file name, board packet, and it added pages from because I extracted a page from it. So I'm going to click Save, and it took a little bit longer there to do that. And there's my document, pages from. And when I open it up, it's going to bring it in here. It did, you think, oh, wow, it did a really great job. But if I click on this, it's an image. It's not text. See how it's not editable text? So hopefully, Harmony, that answered your question, that it can, but it's not going to be editable if it's a scanned, because this scan, when you take a document and you use the Xerox, or if someone scanned it to you, it's a picture. It's not necessarily text. Okay, another question came up. It says, are you going to archive this? I wish I could watch more but there's other things going on. That's fine. This will be archived and available to you on YouTube, in addition to in Chrome under the training. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay, we're going to continue on here. And go back to my document here. The other things that I have here, besides the export file to, I can add or edit a link, I can add a bookmark or attach a file. So if I wanted to attach another file to this, I could click on attach file and it will bring up a dialog box so I could add any file that I wanted to. So let's just say I'm going to add this one to it. And I click on that open. And so now this file is an attachment to this PDF. You'll notice over here on the sidebar that this is the pages thumbnails. This is bookmarks that we're going to talk about. This is attachments. Notice it's not part of the document, it's an attachment to it, hence the name attachment. And this last one here is signatures, which we're not going to cover. So there's the page thumbnails, the bookmarks, which is the next one up here, add bookmark. This one here is not a very big document. It's only a few pages long, and they made a bookmark for each question. If I went to add text, I come down to here, I'm going to add number 7. How do you like Acrobat Pro? And now I can click on add a bookmark, and I select what I want, say add bookmark, and over here is my bookmark. Whatever you want in for the bookmark. What's nice about it is when I'm over here, I can click on this and it jumps up to that bookmark, and here it jumps down. Notice that it's out of order. You can put bookmarks in whatever order you want. If you want to rearrange them, you just click and drag, and you can put it wherever you want it. How you put the bookmarks in is not necessarily like a table of contents where they have to be in the correct order. If you put a bookmark in that you don't want, you click on it to highlight it and hit the delete key or the trash can, and it goes away. So it'll delete that selected bookmark. So there's my bookmark that I added. I could click on it one time and I could delete it there and it would go away. This button here is to add a new bookmark, same as coming over here to add bookmark. And this one here is to expand the current bookmark. So you can have bookmarks inside bookmarks. And that's what it means by expand. Okay. And edit links. Links are like in a website, when you click on something, it can go in. So if I wanted to, add link. So there you go. So I create a link, and it says, what kind of link is this? You saw me draw a rectangle there. So it says visible rectangle. I can also change it to an invisible rectangle. So if I'm going to draw it, let's say over the top of this icon here, I could say invisible so it wouldn't show up. And it tells me the solid color and invert and the thickness of the line. And then here says go to page view, open a file, open a web link, or a custom link. This is what's handy is if I wanted to, I could say open a web page, and then there's a next button, and then it just entered the URL. Now you do have to put the full URL in. That you were doing, and when you click OK, there's my button. Now it's not labeled anything, so I would want to add text, click it in there, and put in that button, and I can actually make it. Oops, got to highlight it. can maneuver it inside there. So it's inside. And now when I go back to my hand tool, this button here becomes that help button, and it asks me, hey, I'm going to go to this. Do you really want to do this? I'm not going to do this now, but you saw how I clicked on there and it made that because that box was behind there. That was the link. So I can add things to my PDF document using that add or edit link. All right, and let's go back out of this and let's go to our long one. Under my tools, the next grouping I have here is pages. Page thumbnails. If I click over here, you'll see that there's all these page thumbnails of individual pages, which kind of gives me a nice browsing view. So I can go, oh, this is the page I want. I click right here, and it jumps right to that page thumbnails. This is where I would allow me to hide or show those thumbnails just like I was clicking over here. I can also do that page rotation. This is handy if you have a document that's long, but that one particular page is turned to its side so that it doesn't look the correct way. And that happens a lot of times when people insert pages. You can click on that page and say rotate, and it'll ask you which way do you want to rotate. 90 degrees, 180 degrees, so it'd be totally inverted. And you can do all pages or just this page that I'm on. So I'm on page 18. I only want to do page 18, or if it's page 18 to 20, for instance, it's going to rotate all of those, and it's going to pages of any orientation. So it's going to go ahead and click that, and notice that it just went ahead and rotated those 2 pages for me. Or 3, I said 18 to 20. So 18, 19, and 20, and rotated. Okay. You also have delete for pages. So if I'm on this document and we're not really doing this master document, so I don't want page 14 in there. So I just click the delete button, and it will automatically choose the page I'm on. Again, I can say 14 to whatever. So I'm going to click that and say, are you sure? Just an extra thing so you don't accidentally click the delete button. So I say yes, and now page 14 is gone. But what's nice about it is there's still 14 because there's 14 pages, but that page that I had in there is gone. And again, I already covered the extract button. So if I wanted to have this grouping here where it says talks about creating documents, so I could go from page 12 down to page 16. So I could say extract page 12 to page 16. I do have 2 other options here. This one is delete pages after extracting. So I can have these pages that I'm extracting out of this, and then I could say delete them. I could also extract pages as separate files. So here I'm having several pages extracted from 12 to 16. And when I say extract pages separate files, it's actually going to create me individual PDFs. So if I click on OK, it's going to say, where do I want to save them? And I'm just going to use my desktop for now because it's handy. And I click out of here. You'll now see that I have teacher 12, teacher 13, teacher 14, teacher 15, and teacher 16. It went ahead and added all of those out of my teacher document because I said individual. Okay. Replace. Replace is handy if I want to replace a particular page. So if I want to replace page 12 with the page I'm on, actually page 16, because I'm on page 16, it's going to go in there. It says replace page 16 to 16 in this with this page from this document. So I'm in here and I'm going to replace it. I say yes, and it says, are you sure? And boom, it comes back in. That's really handy rather than exporting the entire PDF and trying to remanipulate it. If you have just one page that you really need to fix up and it's hard to do under content editing when you're here and you've got lots of little things because of these boxes, you can actually go to your original document, change it, but only only PDF that one page that you want to do. Or like I did, I extracted that one page. So there's page 12. I can open that up, make all my changes in this one, and then just replace that page in there. Okay, going back to pages. Crop. Crop is nice if you want to select some area to not be included. So when you click on the crop button, it's going to tell you what do you want to include. So I have that there where I've selected around it. And click and select. Oh, and I double click. And it's going to say, nope. So I got the crop button selected. I want to remove this yellow part here. Why is it doing that? There it is. I just cropped that out. Okay. Split document. So we're going to jump up here to page 60. I want to split this document. So it's 187 pages. That's just too long. So I really don't want to have people have this huge document, because a lot of times people read and say, that's just too much reading to do. So I'm trying to find a good place to break it. That's good. We'll break it right there. So I say split document, and it says, okay, I'm going to split document by how much? I can split it up by number of pages. I can split it up by a file size. So if someone says to you it's too hard or too big to send, you can actually click here and put it at however many pages it is. Or you can say by top level bookmarks, and that's handy for your bookmarks that are here. So if I wanted to set it, see how there's a disclosure triangle here? That means there's multiple things underneath this number 3. And there's not too many of those, but there's a few. So I could split that document that way. And then you can also do pages. So let's say I want these to be broken down into 10 pages. I click on 10 pages per segment. It will go ahead and it will create a new thing. And it says, okay, I now have 19 documents. So when you click on my thing, I have a ton of documents because I just took all of that and I split it up into 19 individual documents. What's really nice is I can click close, don't save, and I still have my original document somewhere. Oh, right there. There's my original document with my 188 pages. Okay. The next grouping here talks about inserting pages. And inserting pages is from another file. So if I wanted to have a new addition added right here under, like a document or page 6, I could say insert from file, and then I'm going to put this page in, and it says put in this document that I did after page 6, and I want it actually after page 5 because I want it to be the new page 6. So I click on that, and it says bad parameter. I must have done something wrong. Insert from file, this after page 6. All right. Oops. I want Word. There's my PDF. insert this page after. There it goes. That document may have been too big. So there I have, you see, I have 3 pages in my document now. My first 2, and I put in that one right after there. Now, what's really nice is with the thumbnails view over here, I can actually drag them around. So if I really wanted this page to be there, notice that it just drags right up. That's the wonderful thing about PDFs, is that you can really manipulate the pages. More insert options. This one here lets you do different things, including the ability to insert from your clipboard. So if you have something selected, you could just do it's like a paste, but it puts in not text, but whole pages. And you can also insert a blank page, which is handy. I'll click insert blank page, and now I have my original, my second page, my inserted page, and a blank page that I could then add anything I wanted to. You also have the ability to add a page from a web page and import from a scanner. Now, here you have to actually have a scanner connected, and we don't have scanners, so I'm not going to cover that. Okay. Underneath here, we also have edit page design, where I can have a header, a footer, a background, a watermark, and then the Bates numbering, which is what we do in the district when they do the agendas. So here I have my document, and I'm going to say I want to insert a header and footer. I say add header and footer. It's going to go through, add that, and notice that it tells me what do I want to do. I'm going to put in the font size, how big that margin is, and it's showing me up here where it's going to show up, and the footer. So the footer already has, the header already has something in there, so the footer I'm going to add in here, and I'm just going to put in page, and it says insert page number. So that, see how it puts in the thing, and over here I'm going to put in the date. So it's going to put in the date field. I can also change the formatting of it. So if I don't want date to be month day, I want it to be month day year. I can do that. Take that out and say insert date, and notice that it puts it in the month, the day, and the year. If I didn't want that, I wanted it to be actually where is it? Month, day, year. So there's 2. I can click there, and now when I say insert date, it puts it in with the 2-digit month, the 2-digit year, and the 2-digit day and the 2-digit year. Again, I can change the font of it. So if I wanted this to be a little bit bigger, I can make it bigger. I could also change the color. I can do all kinds of stuff. That's in the header and footer. So you have both available for you. Notice that it keeps the differences you have to be careful of. You don't want too much to show up on your header, because they do show up on all the time. Now, over here at the top, it says save settings. There are no save settings. I could save this. So if I always wanted this to be my setting, I could click save settings here, and it's going to give me a dialog box to what I want to put in here. So I'm going to say LCSD page number, because it does all that. And I'm going to say with date. So I know what it is. So when I click OK and click OK here, there it is. It puts in my header. And down here in my footer, it puts in the footer. Now, what's nice about that is, if I open another document up, which I think I have another one here. Here we go. I can click on my pages and header and footer, add header and footer. And I have this where it says my custom. I click there, and automatically loads in all my settings for me and puts in my settings. Very, very handy function. Okay, go back to here, header and footer. and I can hit remove header and footer, and it will say, do you sure? Yes, say yes. They're all gone. A background. If I wanted a background picture for my PDF, I could click the background, and it will ask me if I can do just a color background. So I could just put a nice muted color in, and notice that it covers the whole thing. It doesn't do where there's graphics, so this and this you can see are graphics, as is this graphic down here in their footer. Nice fact that it previews for you here, and you can scroll through and see. So that's that blank page that we added, and this is the page where we inserted. So this whole thing here is put in as a graphic, and then each individual text is inside of it. So you can see what it's going to do when we add that background. You could also insert a file as a background. So that would let you like put in a graphic or something like that if you wanted to. And the watermark is the same thing as a background, only it's got to be a graphic that will go in the background of every page. And there's some ones that used to be built in. Oh no, it's right here. So I can put in the word draft here, and notice that it shows up as my watermark. Now, here is the appearance. So my rotation is first, so I can have it go at a negative or positive 45 degrees. I can also do custom, and I can rotate it to where I want. This one here is the one that's important, the opacity. Right now, you see the preview over here that it's pretty dark and shows up. I can bring that opacity down to 40%, and it's very muted. I can also scale it to the relative page. So if I click on that, that's going to just put it in at this 24 point. If I say scale, it's going to make it 50% of the page, or I can bring it out, and I can also highlight this and put in options. I can also have it behind the page, so you can definitely see the text on front of it, or on top of the page. And that really comes into effect when you have your opacity. Okay, down here at the bottom it says where you can do different things with this watermark and how it appears from the top and sides. I click OK, and you see there is my watermark. Watermarks appear on every page, and they appear in the exact same space. Okay, next. Interactive objects. This is very handy, and this is what I use a lot of times. And this will be the second to last thing that we're going to cover today. This one here is where I can add a button. And what's really handy is when I have a PDF that I've created and made for distribution, I want to add a button to allow them to print it. So when I click on the add button, I get this crosshairs where I can drag and draw my button, and it says, okay, there's my field name, my button. When I click on the all properties, it's going to bring up a dialog box and says, okay, this is my button. I can put in a tooltip for it. So I can put in here, click here to print. So when the user hovers their mouse over this point, it'll show up this tooltip. Where it says appearance, notice that my border color is set to none, and my fill color is set to this gray. Position is where it is. I'm not going to change that. Option here, label. Now right down here, it doesn't say any label. So I have to put in a label, and I'm going to say print. I can also put an icon in there. And then here where it says actions, on mouse up, so after they've clicked and they let up, it's going to execute a menu item. So I click on add, and file print is my menu item that I'm going to add. So on mouse up, it's going to execute the menu item file print. So there's my options where it's going to do the label of print. When I click close and back to my browse, there is my button that says print, and notice that when I hover my mouse, it says click here to print. One other thing that we can do is on my choice here, form is visible, hidden, or visible but doesn't print. I didn't cover that. So right here where it says visible but doesn't print, that's handy because I want the button to show up for people to see, but I don't want them to the document to print out with that big print button there. So now when I go back to my document, if I hit this, it's going to actually print the dialog. I'll bring up the print dialog box and notice that that print button is not there. Okay. I see we have no other questions from everyone. Again, in future things, I'm going to talk more about the forms and other things. One of the questions that came up earlier was about having a form scan or having a page scanned to you and how to save it as a Word document or whatever. You can do text recognition, and I'll cover that in a future session as well. Hope you had a good time, and don't forget, you can always send me questions, and please be sure and fill out the feedback form. Thanks, and have a great day.